Welcome to the Simplified Marketing Podcast. Straight talking ideas to grow your business.
Hello and welcome to the Simplified Marketing Podcast. My name's John Lawley, and as you can see, Andrew and Georgia are having a little bit of time out, but they'll be back with us next time. Now, just a big thank you to everyone who has been supporting the podcast, listening along and subscribing, which you can do on iTunes and Spotify. Thank you very much for your support. If you have any ideas of different things that you would like to see featured on the podcast, then please do get in touch at hello@marketingsimplified.co.uk. Also as well, if you would like to feature on the podcast, please get in touch with us again. You can do that by the website, marketingsimplified.co.uk, or just drop us a line on the email address at hello@marketingsimplified.co.uk. Now, today's episode is with two young guys who run their own fitness business. Now, they're both personal trainers. We've known them for quite some time within different networking groups in North London. And it's a very interesting episode that goes through the strategies they use within their business to grow it, and also to manage to keep the people that they're working with energized and also in the right frame of mind. There's a lot of really good points, I think, in there, which help you have a look at people's frame of mind and also their mental health, which of course is a big issue if you are working by yourself or if you're in a small team. So let's go straight into it. Well, hello and welcome again. So we are very privileged to have Izzy and Sandeep with us. Welcome, guys, to the Simplified Marketing Podcast.
Thank you
for having us.
So we are Izzy and Sandeep from Evolve Coaching and Fitness. We're personal trainers by trade, and we run a personal training business. So a little background on us. Altogether, we've got about, I'd say, between us, how many years in the industry? I know I've got 8.
I've been doing it since I was 18, so I've got 12 years.
12 years.
Oh,
so he's just a bit there. And so we work with a range of different clients, from people dealing with weight loss issues, helping them with that, with their weight loss journey, as well as people that have suffered injuries, so rehabilitation, as well as working with people on their nutrition. And we've got a team of coaches that we work with as well. We run group sessions. So all the areas within fitness and health we like to cover, basically.
So how did you guys get started? Why fitness?
For me, it was more just, I was always into sports. I was always into, and I was intrigued by what makes a person better, what makes a person faster. So the route that I wanted to go down was, and I'm still working towards, is strength and conditioning. So working with athletes and fine tuning, okay, if this person wants to get stronger, if this person wants to get more powerful, if this person wants to jump higher, what needs to be done within their training program, within their eating, within their nutrition to allow that to happen. How about you, Sandeep?
Well, funny you ask. So I was playing football semi-professional when I was 17, and I dislocated my kneecap. So I took a year out to play football, and I got injured, so I couldn't afford to go and see a physio on a regular basis. I had to kind of start looking into how to do it, how I could rehab myself back, and from there I kind of just got into the enjoyment of kind of going through the whole rehab process and seeing myself progressing forward. And then I got a job in the gym as I was doing my degree. So I've got a degree in sports and exercise science. I just enjoyed helping people get from a stage where, they were injured to recovering. And a lot of those clients have actually taken on to further their goals as well. So I really enjoyed, again, like Izzy said, the progression of helping someone through the physical as well as the mindset aspect of things, of be it an injury or be it weight loss, just getting that progression through. It's quite a buzz for us, to be honest.
Putting someone on back on the right track. So how did you guys meet, if you don't mind me asking?
Just working together. Yeah, so we've worked together now. We're working both our separate businesses as personal trainers, and it almost just collided just through synergy. So working for ourselves and then just bringing our brains together, really, and looking at how we could develop and grow our business and make it one. And since then, it's going all right so far.
Yeah, so I think we've both got a similar thought process when it comes to training methods and how we like to deal with clients and the ideas that we've got going forward. So I think it just made natural sense for us to, four hands are better than two, right? Yeah. So if we're both on the same page, then it'll make sense for us to go forward together, and just try and make the most of it.
Yeah. I love that, because you often find that when you meet a competitor, people might get their backs up initially and be like, oh no, we can't, they're the evil one. But you see it quite a lot in the fitness industry, and I really have a lot of respect for that, where you guys come together and then collaborate, and actually that can be more powerful, right? For your own businesses and how you can grow together.
Yeah, we definitely, there was always a case of Sandeep always brought something different to the table, and I always brought something different to the table, and we were quick to see that straight away, and we saw that it complements each other. Our strengths and weaknesses almost complement each other, and it made sense just to move forward together as well.
Well, obviously you're on the Simplified Marketing podcast, right? So we're all about helping other businesses and, learning from each other. But obviously when you guys first combined and created your business, talk to us about the branding part of it, how that came about, and where you started, as in what thought process you had before you jumped into that area for your business.
So the whole brand being Evolve, it stemmed from the strapline almost, Evolve or Be Extinct, and it became just a relevant thing to attach onto in terms of what we do. If you're not willing to develop, if you're not willing to evolve, then the progression isn't going to come, in which then ties into the whole extinct aspect. So in terms of the name and the branding, it was all to do with, okay, what is it, what are we trying to attract, and what are the type of people that we are trying to attract. We're very big on, we're a product of our environment, and we wanted to create an environment, so we wanted the name to portray that in Evolve or Be Extinct. In terms of the logo and everything attached to it, it was just a case of portraying something that is what we're trying to say, but it's a weird way of putting it in terms of what we're trying to get people. What I see as almost what we're trying to evolve into, a different breed, something that you wouldn't imagine yourself getting to. And when people look at the logo, there's always a debate on, is it a lion, is it a bear, is it a wolf? And that's what we like about it, right? And we like people to question it, because it can be what you want it to be, basically.
Because you had an awesome designer behind you, right?
100%,
yeah. No idea.
I think it's quite important to realise as well that at each stage of our life we need to evolve to a different person to who we are. So what may require, for example, someone to lose weight requires an evolution of how they think, how they train, how they eat. Same if someone's trying to recover from an injury, it requires them to evolve their mindset, how they think, how they're eating, again, how they're training. So I think it really does stem down to, we kind of want to represent what evolve means, and we want our clients to represent what evolve means. So there's a deeper meaning to it than just, evolve. It's, okay, come with us and evolve.
And is that a problem you see kind of in the mainstream, I suppose, media in the United Kingdom, definitely in the United States, where it's just this kind of lose weight quick type campaigns?
Oh yeah, massive. It's a big problem. It's something that where everyone in the fitness industry that are in it for the right reason, they're always battling it, and it's just always there. Unfortunately, we live in an era where everyone wants something quick, so it's almost like businesses are just giving people what they want, but really it's not, there's no longevity in it. And that's what we're trying to portray, and what we do is longevity. It's about, okay, it's not just about tomorrow, it's not just about losing the first 10 kilos, it's what happens after that. I mean, are you going to be able to stick to that thing that got you to lose that 10 kilos in 2 weeks? If not, these are the risks that come with it. So that's what we're trying to, it's always a thing that you're fighting.
And how does this all link to mindset, state of mind?
So I think it's important to understand that when people are going through something, they need to really shift the way they think. So the way we look at it is, for us to come together as we've had to shift our mindset. Like you said, normally there's competition between trainers. So we've been through our own battles, like for example with food, with training, with injuries, like how we started in our business. So it's almost like taking that experience and helping our clients then walk through that same journey. So I like to think of it as we're not the donkey carrying up the hill, but we're the Sherpa guide. Right? That's the word.
You put a lot of obviously time and energy into your brand message.
Yeah.
Obviously a lot of time and energy in your actual brand in terms of design stuff as well. Do you feel that that's really helped you attract the kind of clients that you've wanted to work with as well? In branding and looking at all this time in your business to attract those, you getting the kind of clients that you want now that you've created all those kind of messages?
Yeah, and just making sure that what we put out there, as well as the branding, but as well as ourselves, whether it be social media, supports it as well. The branding definitely helps, it gives off the message, but then it's a case of what retains the clients afterwards is making sure that we're authentic and we stick to it in terms of what we portray in the brand as well. So yeah, definitely.
I thought it was really interesting because you mentioned social media there, and we talked a lot in various different episodes about social media, but I know that you ran one specific Facebook campaign. Could you talk us through how all that worked?
Yeah, so what we set up was, when was it we set up? It was September.
September last year.
So we set it up in September, which was a campaign to help someone, almost like a competition. So we put it out there, we put out a landing page to say, okay, we're putting together an 8-month transformation to help someone that really needs it. So within 8 months, we're gonna give this person our time for free, whether it be personal training, nutrition, whatever they need from us in those 8 months. And we put it out there, we got people to sign a petition, fill out a questionnaire for us to gather information, and then by the end of it we interviewed sort of the top 10 that we thought would benefit from it the most, and then to the point where we chose someone that we're working with now, and we are 6 months in with that now. Yeah.
Wow, how's it gone then so far?
Really good so far. Yeah, he's on track. Phil is his name, so it's on our Instagram and our Facebook, Phil's Journey. So we are now 5-6 months in, and he's lost coming up to 20 kilos now. He's lost altogether.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's really good.
You mentioned that 10 that you kind of whittled it down to then sort of review. How did you get to that stage? Like to sort of filter down to find the person you felt you
I think
most?
we sat down and we kind of looked at each individual and what they said their reasoning was for wanting to apply for it, and then we decided that these are the ones that we feel will be the best in terms of us being able to guide them, you know. And then it was just a case of then the interview, and we sat down with them, really asked those uncomfortable questions.
So it wasn't just a case of who was the heaviest
No,
applicant.
not at all.
Actually, who do we feel we could work with?
Yeah. So because I think that the important thing is that, you know, you're working with someone who's willing to kind of take those steps along with you. So that's the whole point of the interview process is, okay, yes, these candidates are good, but will they work well with us, with the guidance that we give them, and will they even take that guidance on?
Yeah.
And that's what we want to really get out of the interview process.
How many applications did you get in total?
In total, we got between 35 to 40 applications, and we narrowed it down to 10 from there. And another thing we wanted to touch on was the person's why they wanted to do it. What was the reason? Like, you had people that were just there, just a generic sort of answer of they just want to lose weight for an event, and there was people that were there like, this would change my life, like I need this, and that's really what we wanted, just so that we could show people, as well as helping that person, we want to show people the pros and cons and the ups and downs of what goes on in a weight loss journey. Not necessarily just a showcase of our ability, but it's not a case of for 8 months it's going to be everything goes well. There's going to be times where you're going to feel rough. There's going to be times where you're not going to feel like training. You're going to want to eat things, and we want to get that across to people so that they're not demotivated when they go on their own journey as well.
So kind of like a diary then. It's
yeah.
Like, you know, this is where it got most painful. This is where it was
we
like.
tried to get them to vlog it as well. So we want people to understand it's not a linear path, but it's more of a, you know, up, down. And it's just about understanding what the downs are so we can understand better what our clients go through, number one. And it shows people out there, actually, you know, you may be going through something similar and this may help you in overcoming that as well. So it's almost like a motivational, inspirational tool as well. So yeah.
In terms of a marketing perspective as well, when we put it on social media, what's allowed sort of our Instagram followers to do is they feel a bit more close to us and to Phil, where they will message us and they'll ask questions and they'll interact with the whole journey as well. So on that side of things, it's been great. So we feel like we've got a close relationship with the people that are following us now, watching it all.
I love that then. So you're kind of documenting this guy. He's a regular process or campaign within your social media, and you've actually got people who are actually following. See, how's he getting on?
Yeah.
It's a bit like different radio shows like Laura's Diaries, which was on Radio 1 ages and ages ago, things like that. It's a pretty amazing journey for that guy to go through. What just from people will ask us from a technical point of view, how did you put all that together? What were the steps you had to put in place?
So first thing was just getting the landing page together, which it
was pretty amazing.
I saw you was looking for the plan. So we got the first was getting the landing page and getting everything set up in terms of what we're gonna put to get people's attention on it. We did that, and then we done it through sponsored posts, through Facebook and Instagram, just to get it in front of as many people as we can. Which then, when they followed the landing page, they filled out the questionnaire, then led to the email and the data all coming through to us, which then led us to then navigate through that and then take our pick on who we wanted to choose from.
If I remember rightly, you guys handled things like the sponsored posts, the advertising within Facebook and Instagram yourself.
Yes.
That's something you guys learned how to do. So, that should be a motivation for everyone else out there looking to do things like that.
Yeah.
Trial and error, I imagine, but getting there and you've got results.
Yeah, because just from doing it this time, it's something that we'll do again. And if we do it again, we know for a fact that we could hit even more people just from, like you said, the experience of playing around with it ourselves.
And I think when you understand when you're doing the advertising and the sponsored posts, you understand a little bit better how to hit your audience and actually who your audience is. And like I said, I think we've understood a lot more who our audience is now. So actually talking to them when we're actually doing our posts now has actually helped us to reach out to them a little bit more.
So leading on from that, obviously, like, you guys have lots on your plates. I know you do home sessions, you go into the gyms as well. Obviously, you're great because you understand all the social media and you're doing your marketing and stuff. How do you balance all of this? Like, you're young chaps, I know you're fit and healthy, but that's a lot to be doing, right? Like, how do you balance your coffee?
a lot of caffeine.
How do you balance your time?
Organisation, I think, is the main thing. With what we do, majority of the time in regards to a peak personal training session, it's not necessarily the hour. On my side, it will be more sort of the programming, and we've got a good structure in terms of that. So in terms of the back end of our business, when we design programs for people, we've got a system now where we only have the program sort of every 3 months for all our clients. So straight away, that saves us a lot of time to work on other things. We have a few other coaches that we work with as well, and that's something that we want to grow more of so that we could delegate. But it just boils down to just organisation and time management and just making sure that you're prioritising your time on the right things.
I mean, we sit down every week and we kind of go through what's priority and what each of us needs to work on so that we're making sure that we're getting everything done, be it programming, be it dealing with a specific client, or even just dealing with a problem that we may have with a client each, or what's going on with our business. So just keep us on top of things.
Discussing what opportunities that we're going to target this month, and just having specific things that, like, our clients and the personal training is going to always be there, and it's something that we're doing a good job in maintaining and growing. And then in the time that we do have is, okay, what's the next step? What else do we need to focus on? What's going to grow our business now? What's going to offload a bit of work off us? And it's just about using each other to delegate that.
I love the accountability side of things. Really pushing each other along. So what would you say then is something that is uniquely Evolve?
Uniquely evolve.
Something that is unique to Evolve that you would bring through.
Oh, damn. What is unique to Evolve? I think...
I'd say it's the way we are with our clients. I think when we speak with our clients, it's not just you do what we say. We really try and listen to what they're saying and then kind of guide them the right way from there. It's easy for us to sit here and say, okay, you've got to do everything our way. But realistically, if you've got kids, if you've got 2 businesses to run, if you're busy all the time, really and truly our way may not work for you. So it's about us being collaborative with our clients and how we can understand to find a solution that works for them, and for us to find better solutions for them to work forward if they do have a busy life, or if they do have 2 or 3 businesses, and I'd say it comes down to us just trying to understand our clients a little bit more and really trying to connect with them.
And I think in terms of how we want our business to grow, what will make us unique is that quality that Sandeep touched on. Is we only want our business to grow into other avenues within maintaining that quality. So whether it be us doing group sessions now, which we've started, it's about, okay, we want to do group sessions, but one thing that we're big on in personal training is things like making sure that technique is addressed, making sure that we're reducing any injury rates. How do we do that in a bigger group session?
Yeah.
How do we make sure that these guys are coming into the session and getting results, and which we've done through WhatsApp groups and having communities. If we want to go into the online coaching spectrum, okay, we're going to do that, but again, it's all about making sure that we maintain that quality of what we deliver with our personal training, because that's what's got us to where we've got. If we then decide to just grow and start doing other things, we will just fall into the trap of just going into other things. We want to make sure that quality remains all the way through.
The sustainability of being able to do all these things, make progress forward, yet not hurt, like Izzy said, not hurting yourself, or not going to extreme lengths to do things. We want to make sure that people can sustainably exercise, sustainably get better nutrition, all while getting results as well.
It's like you've made like this tailor-made service for everyone, right? And we come back to where John was saying with some of the American brands that like a get thin quick kind of scheme, like a get rich quick scheme. I guess that's the benefit with you guys. If clients are going to work long term with you, like if they were just with you for a couple of weeks, you're not really getting an insight into their life. If you're working with someone months on end, you're getting to know their problems in their lifestyles, right? And be able to then tailor and obviously give better results to the client, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's in the name, personal training. It's personal. That you have to, for you to really get a result out of that person, you're gonna need to know the ins and outs of what's going on. What are their limitations, and what's stopping them, or what's causing them to eat that thing that they're not meant to be eating. And it's just making sure that that relationship is maintained in all aspects of our business.
Well, we touched on it earlier, and probably too early, because we had other questions we wanted to get through first, and it's probably my fault.
It's always your fault.
Follow the schedule, John. But is that the mind? Is that the human mind, realistically, that holds you back?
To a degree, yes. Yeah. I mean, when you think about people doing things, they do it out of routine and habit, right? So it's about understanding what their current routines and habits are, why they do things the way they do them, and then, okay, instead of saying stop doing that, how can we replace it instead?
Right.
Rather than saying stop doing it, what would be a habit that would serve you better? So if it's, for example, you come home and tuck into biscuits all the time.
Yeah.
Bonbons.
Your bonbons. Love a bonbon. Let's take that out. Instead, you want to think about, okay, what could I replace that with that would be better suited for what my goal is? If my goal is to lose weight, really truly is having a bonbon or having a pack of bonbons really going to help. On the other side of it, you could look at, okay, how can you then work that bonbon into your calories so you're not restricting yourself? So again, it's just about finding the best way for someone to go forward, and really hitting those habits and routines. So again, trying to understand what their life's like and how can we make it better that it's aiming still towards their goal of achieving what they want to achieve without being too restrictive.
So do you things like, you mentioned WhatsApp groups and Facebook groups as well?
Yeah.
Is that a key part? Because I've seen that cropping up a lot and lots recently.
I mean, for us, it's a way to keep communicating and connection with our clients, because the most important thing is keeping that line of communication and making sure that you're checking in with them once in a while. Because at first they need that little check-in, it's like almost like a bit of reassurance, and then eventually just giving them the confidence to move forward. And I think our job is to instill people with belief that they can do anything they want, and then just empowering them with that.
Because if you look at other meeting groups like Weight Watchers and other things, one of the main things that keep people on track is the fact that they go to that meeting every week or every 2 weeks. So it's just having that accountability. And if you're only seeing a personal trainer once a week, a lot can happen within those 7 days. Whereas if you've got alongside of the personal training, and you do it in a way where it works out within their budget, where they could enter, let's say, a WhatsApp group, then they've got that accountability on a daily basis that they could talk to within that group, or on a personal level with their trainer as well. So share what you've accomplished. And if the person wants to do that, then they're going to be more inclined to want to keep doing it.
It's that confidence building.
And I guess share their struggles as well, right?
Exactly.
So if they're in one of your WhatsApp groups or on your Facebook groups, they're out of the sort of prying eyes of the rest of the public, but they're speaking to other people that are struggling too, and they're building their own relationships, which is great for your brand and stuff as well, isn't it? Because friendships are then formed and they can help and support each other, right?
Yeah. I mean, I suppose going back to the fear aspect, it's the fear of being judged for not doing something right. And I think going back to what makes Evolve unique is we try not to be too judgmental when people don't do things right. It's a case of, okay, let's look at this and see how can we help you moving forward so that this doesn't happen again, and can we understand why this has happened. So again, coming back to your question, fear does stop people from speaking what they want to speak or when they've done something wrong. But in these groups we want to make it an open forum where, okay, if you're going through that, there may be 3 or 4 other people that are going through exactly the same thing, and we're in a space where we can all talk about it and maybe come to a solution that might work for everyone. So by speaking out, you're actually helping each other. So that's why these groups are so good. The accountability and the support is probably what it is, really.
Is that something? Because obviously everyone sat here is a business owner. Okay, and I don't know about you guys, but when I first started out in business, it's an incredibly lonely thing to be in, and you've only got yourself really to kind of keep yourself going. There must be, I know from my own experience, but the mental health kind of issues of, oh no, someone has had an issue with something I've done, how do I get over that? That's kind of like a crushing blow at the beginning. There must be aspects of what you guys do to help people build on that so they're stronger mentally to have to face those challenges. I say should be. Are there aspects of that you guys build on?
I think that's where training comes in, because with our training, when you're training people, you're actually building up their mentality to face challenges daily. So if there's something you couldn't lift before, and then about 6 weeks later you're able to lift it, it's going to give you the confidence that you can overcome that challenge.
I think it's again, we wouldn't necessarily say that it's something that we can help people with, but it's definitely something we encounter. Like we've got clients that have gone through it, that suffer from it, and all in terms of exercise and just movement in general is something that they say that they echo is something that keeps them, sort of gives them a bit of focus and gives them something to work towards. But then at the same time, it's understanding in our job, you're gonna experience, if you're dealing with people that have had a history of it, they're gonna have ups and downs, and it's just, okay, how do you approach that situation as a coach as well? Are you gonna try just get as much out of them, or is it a case of in this session we may just have to sit down and talk about what's going on and target sort of the eating or something else, just as you may know that in that session they're just not gonna get, or it's not going to be an enjoyable experience for them. And as a business, it means that, one, that if they don't enjoy the experience, they're less likely to come back. But then in terms of helping them as well, are you really helping them just by taking them through their session? Or does it make sense to just understand what the person's feeling right now before going ahead with it?
And I guess in your line of work and in that environment, when people come to you and they've got this goal that they want to be fitter and stronger and everything else, if there are mental challenges that are going on, you're in that environment where they probably are confiding in you sometimes, aren't they, right? With what's happening. And like you said, you have to then tailor make your session or maybe even your whole course with them to bear all that in mind. So like, how do you find that in doing that as a challenge for yourselves?
I mean, that's the difference between being a personal trainer and a coach. Personal trainer is there just to kind of almost take you through the motions, but we like to coach people. How we overcome that is, I suppose, it's just coming from a place where we allow them to feel like they can feel these things around us and approach us and maybe ask us for advice about things, and just allowing them to open up I mean, it can be difficult at times because you might end up then talking for 15-20 minutes of a session.
Coming from more of a sort of background of strength and conditioning, when working with athletes, they always say, never design a program in concrete. It's never designed in concrete, it's in wet cement. So an athlete might come one day and you might have a big session planned where you want them to lift heavy weights and do a big leg session, but they might have just had, let's say, a hockey game and their legs are feeling heavy. Do you have a conscious decision to make? Are you going to put them through that session just for the sake of it, or are you going to adapt and try to get something else? And it applies the same in that other aspect in terms of if that person's coming in feeling low and down, are they really going to perform that well in that session you've got planned, or are you going to have to make a few tweaks so they come out a bit better?
I suppose that's the most important thing is, like you say, tailoring to the individual that's in front of you. Be that training, be that, again, the conversation you need that, or even that advice towards nutrition. How does it work for this individual in front of us?
So you guys must get very close. These guys are your clients are actually confiding in you quite a bit. There's a lot of trust that you guys are getting.
That's something, I suppose, going back to what makes Evolve unique is that we want to build relationships with our clients in terms of, okay, like, we want to help you guys move forward. So there needs to be a level of trust there. So I think it's, again, a unique part of what we do. And that's what makes us coaches, not personal trainers.
Brilliant. So just the last question then. Can you give us, what's the, obviously take out any personal details, but is there a success story you could both take us through?
I think, honestly, at the moment, the one to pay attention to would be Phil.
Yeah.
I think his story is amazing, and if you, and it's an open book, do you know what I mean? And people can see it. Right from the very beginning when we interviewed him, and he explained, he was literally just open. And what he went through in terms of mental health and depression and losing family members to get him through down this rabbit hole, and to now where he's slowly going. So I think that journey alone is fantastic. Other journeys similar we've had, but the main thing, what we like to praise ourselves on is not so much what we do then within the 8 months, but it's a case of, okay, we've got this person to lose 30 or however many kilos in 8 months, but then it's a case of when they finish with us, do they keep it off? So that's really what we like to get across is whatever people come in and do with us, we get them to take it away with them and then to put into their life on their own as well.
Brilliant. Well, guys, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you
very much for having us.
That's all for this time, but don't worry, we'll be back with more soon. Stay tuned for new episodes at marketingsimplified.co.uk.